Hello and welcome back to Rule the Waves 2. We are playing Imperial Germany in the 1900s start. It is 1938. We are for once at peace. And there is a peace treaty, a naval limitation treaty actually. So for a full 168 months, we are just in the first month now. And its limitation is 12,000 tons and 10-inch in caliber, which means we should be able to build decent heavy cruisers out of it. And I think at this point we will probably try not to break that, so we don't just exploit the mechanics, as the treaty has forced every other nation to scrap carriers and battleships or battle cruisers that they were currently building, while I had no ship currently being built. And this time I will try to continue normally. Unfortunately, so I will try to keep the peace treaty. Unfortunately, which is really sad, I just scrapped a couple of old battle cruisers with 13-inch guns, as their rebuilding would have been financially completely unjustified. But inside a naval treaty, obviously, it's a whole different story. So it would have been justified rebuilding them now. But too late now, we can't change that. We might learn from that in the future, that probably keeping an old ship in mothballed state, and I see this one is 176,000 a month, and those ships I think had 32,000, so they should have been like 80. You can actually afford that as Germany, to keep them for a while at least. But nevertheless, I think we are decently set up. So the tonnage is in battleships is the second highest. In battle cruisers, it's almost the smallest, but our battle cruisers are really powerful. I guess the Americans probably have more powerful battle cruisers, and they by now have by far the biggest fleet as well. We see most of them are hardly any crosses the 40,000 tons, which means that mine are significantly bigger, which should mean that they are significantly better armored and thus can stand in a fight. But we are in we have entered the age of aircraft carriers, and here Imperial Germany has a vast superiority. We see, I think it's like 160, 290. Yeah, it's almost, not completely, but the rest of the world has like 300,000 tons, and we have 242. And we already scrapped a couple of rebuilt ones. So I think in this regard we are set up pretty well. We don't have light carriers. On the other hand, we might be able to build some. Let's check that. No, not light cruisers, light carriers. Because with 12,000 tons and we can go 10% bigger, that should work. But what the hell is this? I have no idea. That thing looks ugly as hell. Okay, better now. 33 would actually work. Would actually be decent, I guess. But I don't think it's worth it. We have, how many are those? 8 full battles, 8 full carriers. I think that's more than enough. So what we're doing now is we're going on a big modernization spree. Let's first slap some paint on those old guys. They are being kept, and they're being kept as destroyers, because with 500 tons, if I convert them to corvettes, they'll be scrapped after a war. 600 tons is the minimum displacement for that, but they still can work as ASW platforms. And I can now give them like dual purpose guns and add some AA, I guess. At least some, well, not much. Yeah, the price is basically irrelevant. And they still have one torpedo tube that is necessary to keep them classified as destroyer. And in theory, if there's an enemy coastal raid, maybe one of them is lucky and puts a torpedo into one of the attacking ships, but that's unlikely. Their role is trade protection every battle. Every time we are at war, they are just used for trade protection. And I think they're doing a decent job at that. So let's modernize them. We're not investing any money in that, any significant money. But that should do the job for now. Now we still have 4 million left. Let's see what are we currently building. Those are new destroyers. other rebuilt ones and 3 more cruisers, which means we'll have 8 modern cruisers, modern light cruisers. What did we have? Eritrea, Cameroon, Südwestafrika, Ostafrika, Congo, Djibouti. We need to check. I think I want to build like 2 more. Ostafrika is this, and it's the colonial class, so they are supposedly to be named after colonial possessions. The only question is whether this is supposed to force us to build as many as we have here, but I don't think so. Also, need to wait 1 moment, please. I need to check something. Oh, AFK still on. Damn it. Yeah, that needed to be done. And yep, wait. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. I'm sorry for that. So I think I'll build like 2 more, but that should be it. Let's build the Tsingtao and the Port Arthur. There it is. Tsingtao. Thank you for the follow, Rüdiger. Probably German then. Tsingtao and the Port Arthur. Okay, we have 1 million left in budget. Let's start modernizing those guys here, the Stettin class. We can't give them dual purpose, and I think that would increase the weight by too much anyways. So I'll have to see what we can do here. Swivel mounts. Probably giving it new engines would also make a huge difference. They are over 10 years old. Let's see. 400, that's actually a significant difference. I think it might be worth it. What could we do with that? First of all, increase the torpedo tubes. Yep, that would be doable. Give it modern equipment, modern fire control. Still a lot of hey there. Still a lot of tonnage left. I guess we give it some 4-inch dual purpose. That should add a lot to the anti-air. Probably some reload for the torpedoes, and let's put the rest into anti-air. It's quite expensive then. Let's check actually. 20 million was that. How much are those? No. It's half the price of a new one. I'm not sure whether that's worth it if we can build actually build new ones. Those are 15 6-inch guns, 2-inch and 2-inch, 2.5-inch and 1-inch and 12 6-inch. So they aren't really that much worse. Basically the same speed. Lots of torpedoes less. Well, I think they're somewhat competitive, so let's actually do that. Let's be, I don't know whether it makes sense to invest all that money. Probably doesn't. No, I shouldn't do that. I'd be tempted to do it, but if we check the price, modernizing 2 of them to the price of one completely new one, and even modernized, they aren't that much stronger. So modernizing fire control is one thing, and like adding fire control for the anti-air, adding that up, putting those in dual mounts. I don't know, add one? Can I add one? No, I can't. Those are tiny modernizations that should make them a little bit better. But that will make them 28 knots. No, that's not worth it. Yeah, I think that's that makes economic sense, but like doing the most possible that can be done here doesn't seem like a good choice, unfortunately. So let's rebuild them in this way. You are going to be rebuilt as well. And after that we're going to modernize all the battleships that haven't been recently modernized. And we can give them... Okay, Deutsche Eritrea has been finished. We can give them dual purpose guns in double turrets and bigger ones. And another follow. Thank you, Truffle Me. He is working up. Let's actually modernize all of them at once. I still have enough money on the bank to afford that. And I think the rebuild doesn't even take that long, right? What was it? 3 months, yeah. Never mind. Okay, let's just do that. New docks have been completed. And another new cruiser is done. Okay, he wants 10 new cruisers. Okay. We can do that. Especially if we get more budget for that. Now let's actually look into designing a new battle cruiser, because 10 was like a new cruiser. 10 was like the size I actually thought about getting. Anyways, we can build, what was it? 13,200 I think is the maximum size, right? Yep. Okay, so we can either do 8-inch, 12 8-inch, or probably, yeah, like 9 10-inch. What is the gun caliber here? The gun capability here. 18,500 yards. 60,000, so that's a different, but not by that far. And let's check. 15 is 4.3 and 1.3. 4.3 and 1.3. 4.3 and 1.3. Okay, so 1 additional inch, which is like 20-25% in additional penetration on the side, and at that range an additional, what is it, 30%, 20%, yeah, like that as well. So it's roughly 20% more penetration. That seems like not that bad of a deal, especially if we want them to be as powerful as possible, which we always strive for. So I guess we stick with this setup in 10-inch guns. And we are going, even though the 6-inch would be awesome, we are going to reduce them to 5-inch, because then we can have dual purpose. And we want more AA. But I don't think that here is really useful. Broadside submerged, so he's still designing them with submerged torpedo tubes, which is obviously kind of stupid. 5-inch belt is pretty strong though. That's not bad for this era. Okay, it could, I can give it either torpedo tubes or planes. That's the question. What makes more sense here? 22, so it would be set up like almost perfectly now. How much weight does that save? Not really much. So we can, how much would that cost? 500, that's a lot. Yeah, so let's leave that. No planes then. I'll use my carriers for that. Okay, I think that is a pretty decent design. Question is though, how to name it. Do we have a Derflinger yet? Not recently, I think. It was one of the old ones. Yeah, let's name it Georg von Derflinger. Von Derflinger. And he was, like the rest of them, a field marshal and a German or a German field marshal who fought in the 30 Years' War. I think he helped the Protestants, so he fought on the side of the Protestants and is being considered to be one of the greatest military leaders in this era, and he would probably be in the top 25, or let's say at least top 50 of the best German military leaders of all times. So and that's why the Imperial German Navy, the one I'm currently playing, named a battlecruiser after it. Thank you, Dalobert, for the follow. And I think in this regard, it's probably a very fitting name. It would be better for a battleship, I guess, more justified, but as we are not building any currently, I'm not going to name, and the game will end in, what is it, 15 years, something like that. We might not build any battleships anymore. So I rather give those names to these heavy cruisers now instead of saving them for a ship that's never built. But I think this design is pretty decent. I would love to have torpedo protection. That would be awesome. But the weight is too much. I would have to reduce firepower, and they are focused. Their mission is to be focused on firepower, I think. Yeah, let's do that. Yep. Okay, so in 3 months, and then we need to build a full 10 of them. Yep. Italy. Budget. Wholeheartedly agree with the Kaiser. Yeah, the tensions with Italy are so low that I can afford it. Increases aircraft capacity and ready times of carriers. That's nice. Good. So we have some new ships finished here. This one, mothballed. And those guys here, mothball them. And that one is supposed to be mothballed. They are actually in Northern Europe. Those are my old colonial cruisers. That's fine for them to stay here. Okay, let's wait for the heavy cruisers to be finished, and then we can continue. Okay. More cruisers being rebuilt or finished. Okay, let's actually take this option. It will cost us money, but as said, 70 million a year. That's a metric arse ton. But the thing is, I dislike the fact that signing a naval treaty doesn't really force you to follow it. You can just provoke a war within like a year or so with some lucky events, and then the naval treaty is gone, but the ships have been scrapped for that. So I always try to at least give it some time before I accept the fact that it's going to end. Okay, we are still doing the design here. Okay, and then we need 12 of them because unfortunately, no, we are currently building 2. Okay, because it adds up to the cruisers I'm currently building, and if I finish some in between, I think it doesn't reduce the number, but I'm not sure about that. It's the advice for the government with Japan. Japan tension, okay. Yeah, that looks fine. I don't really need much more prestige. Okay, allows coordinated strikes from several carriers. That's obviously very helpful if you want to strike a heavily defended target, but against single ships or something, that's not really necessary. So let's take the Georg von Derfflinger first. No. That is the first cruiser. Now the next one will be the Seydlitz. The Friedrich Wilhelm von Seydlitz. Tirpitz. Then we take another military leader, Friedrich Karl von Preußen, also named der Rote Prinz, the Red Prince. And obviously Zieten needs to be mentioned as well, so Hans Ernst Karl Graf von Zieten. That's 4 now. I don't think I have a Blücher, right? Yep. So Blücher obviously needs a ship to be named after him as well. Gebhard Leberecht von Blücher. That's some funny irony. Leberecht is a actually given name, a Christian name, but it means it's the combination by the understanding of the words nowadays of the right to live. So you have a field marshal, a general being named, who's sending soldiers to die and to kill, be named the right to live. There is some irony there. Another funny thing is, I think that was like an Irishman, James Keith, or somewhere from the British Islands. Scottish was a field marshal and one of the intimate friends or like people Frederick the Great trusted. So he had a Scottish man commanding parts of his armies, and I don't think he was ever honored by naming of a ship. I think there is like a monument for his honor somewhere in Berlin, I think. But he himself didn't have a ship named after him, so now there will be a German heavy cruiser named after a Scottish man. James Keith. Or no, his German name, in that time you would give somebody a localized name. His German name was Jakob von Keith, or Kite. Then probably, I don't know how they pronounced it then. But that was James Keith. Let's make it just, I mean, this would obviously be a wrong name. Not he would just be Jakob von Kite. But let's just, so it's obvious that we're talking about a Scottish man, let's make it in brackets at the end. Additionally, now we are at 6. Well, let's stick to some more generals, I guess. Wilhelm Dietrich von Buddenbrock. And Leopold II, Maximilian Fürst von Anhalt-Dessau. So what is Fürst? Fürst is Duke, I think. Prince. No, they're calling them Prince in the English word. So he was the Prince of Anhalt-Dessau, and I think another general for Frederick the Great, if I remember correctly. Let's check this quick. Yeah, he should have been another general. Yeah. He was actually the deputy commander of Frederick the Great at the Battle of Kotusitz. So somebody definitely worth being honored and mentioned. That's now 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's build 2 more. We are running a steep deficit now, but who cares? Ferdinand von Braunschweig-Wolfenbüttel. Wolfenbüttel. Ferdinand von Braunschweig. Another strong ship And another, I think it's another Kleist, yes. The family of Kleist has insanely many generals and marshals over centuries, again and again and again. Like many of you might know the Panzergruppe Kleist in the Second World War, but that was by far the first von Kleist who actually commanded German military forces. And we are not honoring generals of the Second World War here. We are honoring Friedrich Emil Ferdinand Heinrich Graf Kleist von Nollendorf. Obviously a very long, a noble name. Okay, those are 10 now, and it's fine. Okay, let's leave it at that for now. In case we need more, I have some more names. 9 million deficit, so we need to stop some in 10 months. Okay. Improving the relations. Yeah, why not? We said we want to keep that peace for a while. Okay. And the tension goes up immediately. Again. It's even faster than expected. That's good. But we need a new planes. Okay, medium bomber. Medium bomber, I want one that has actually torpedo capability. We want bomb load for that. I mean, everything is nice, reliability or something, but I want it to be as hard hitting as possible. Okay, good. So the government is happy. Okay, let's buy some technology, that's fun. Increase of submarines. Submarines is something I should probably also build. But yeah. Buying the rights, naval aviation heavier than air. Late air launch torpedoes. Well, that would make their torpedo bombers more efficient, but never mind, I need the money. Enables air search radar, that's good. That's helpful for air defense, I guess. Fighter, a new fighter. It's almost the same speed. A little faster, a little longer range. Yeah, everything a little bit better. Almost everything. That's fine. We keep it, we take it. Cruiser from Japan. Japan tensions. I could increase tensions and gain prestige. That would give me 100 prestige, so let's make it. That's a nice number. 9 destroyers. Ah, yeah, the destroyers are getting finished. Ooh, better 16-inch guns. That's awesome. Now that's really nice. And better 10-inch guns. Okay, that's unfortunate that it's coming after I finished, or after I started building 10-inch ships, but that's usually how it happens. You always start getting the new designs when the very moment you started building some. It's like there's a secret algorithm in the game just to mock you, to play with you, but we won't complain. Yeah, we need to put the destroyers into mothballed. That should save us. It's not much money, but a little bit. Yeah, we buy every technology we can get, and we almost sell everything we can sell. Okay, good. More money, that's good. Handle it quietly, we don't want to force war. Improves invasion capability, that's good too. So they all can carry torpedoes, that's important for me, medium bombers, because bomb dropping isn't really efficient, except maybe against airfields, not against ships, and ships are my main targets. And it's medium range, so you want the longest range in medium, which would be this one. It's also the fastest one, the biggest, the highest cruise range. Firepower, the highest one. Maneuverability is lower, but I don't think this is that important, maybe except if you want to strike like destroyers or something. But I think against carriers and battleships that shouldn't make much of a difference, even though I wouldn't claim I know this for sure, but that's at least my reasoning. Yeah, toughness is almost equal to what they already have, so we are taking that one. Okay, let's check on that dive bomber. That seems significantly better, so we take it. And another flying boat, also good. Okay, now let's take those out. This one is also obsolete. Float plane scout, we have 2 already, and both of them are pretty old. So let's ask for a new one here. We want range and reliability. And we have a surplus in budget. Perfect. Okay, more destroyers coming. Budget and tension. Budget, no, we don't give in budget. We already have too low of a budget. Now it's getting a little dangerous, and I still need to rebuild much of the battleships, but I hope there will be time for that. Let's actually start right away. Which one is the oldest one? Those are probably, I mean, those are modernized 36 to 38, and those are from 33. Those are from, yeah, those are the old cruisers. Okay, let's do a modernization here. We give it better guns. That brings it to 6 month. Advanced, that's fine. Can we go up to 5-inch dual purpose? Too bad we don't have 6-inch dual purpose yet. The question is, should we could go down to 5-inch and give them dual purpose. That would save weight and give us a lot of additional AA. There are 6-inch anti-aircraft guns later, but I'm not sure whether they are too useful or whether they justify the increased weight. I think in reality 5-inch is like the best mixture of rate of fire and firepower, whereas 6-inch has obviously bigger detonations and thus a bigger effect on planes. The number of shells it throws up because of the heavier weight of the shells is lower. So I guess we're just going down to 5-inch and make those 4-inch. Let's see how big we can go, like this, 20 probably, down to 0, and let this 30. Okay, still some weight left. From my understanding, medium guns are more efficient, and that would be historically correct as well. Now 24 left, that seems like a nice okayish buffer. And 8 months, okay, that's a little long, but okay. Can't do much about that. And I want the better guns. So let's rebuild that one. It's going to cost 5 million, so let's rebuild 2 for now. More of half new. Well, your ship, Iluvatar, welcome back, by the way. As you can see, no more destroyers. Your ship has sunk gloriously in battle in the last episode. So you need a new ship. That's right. You know, you're actually we are going to rename that one. You need your chance to sink again. So the Iluvatar will be put into service next turn. Those 2 need modernization as well. I think, yeah, we can add some AA, why not? Those can be dual purpose, that's fine too. 4-inch, I think everything's okay like this. Yeah, let's just modernize those this way, and yes. Okay. And those carriers need modernization as well, but we are running out of money. So let's stick to what we have right now. Oh yeah, that was it. He wants more ships to be put into active service, so let's try with 1 first. Yeah, that's already enough. Once you deploy additional forces, okay. Don't fret about it. Yeah, we don't want to provoke them, because I don't want war. Said to me, it's always, I hate the fact that the game doesn't force peace in a way when the naval treaties are done. and that allows for exploits, and I always try to avoid that as far as I possibly can. But yeah, that's those mothballed, and I think active fleet, but that's Central Pacific, that's fine. Okay, good. Look what we've got here. Our ship Iluvatar is commissioned into the Navy. So that's, in case you're watching on YouTube, that's how you get a ship named after you. Just come to me when I stream it on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/Inclutus, and there you can join the conversation and be bestowed upon the great honor of having a ship named after you, and thus having the ability to sink gloriously in battle, or maybe less gloriously by a mine. I think the other one, Erebus Nicht, has been sunk by a mine, if I remember correctly. So we have almost balanced budget again. That's fine. Mothball. French want dual purpose for the DDs. No, that's actually not gonna... well, the French won't be at war with us for a long time, so let's sell it anyways. Reduces horsepower requirement. That should be a rather bigger change, but it's only... if it's realistic, and I'm pretty sure it is, it will only affect completely new designs. So that won't help us with the rebuilds we might do. Okay, Tsingtao is commissioned. Okay, I guess we are at war now. We can take it to the court in the Hague. Okay. Order to sink. Or we can like send an ultimatum. And that would probably lead to war, and we can basically send it to everyone. That's kind of funny. US, Japan, Russia, France. Only Italy not, because it's at 0. Yes, of course. That's when I didn't know you were here. Wait, oh, I need to select one. Yeah, let's just order them to sink every submarine that shows up. In that case, I didn't realize you were also watching, but obviously, in that case, you deserve the honor to be named, to have a ship named after you as well. The only question is whether we should name it HMS Robert, because a German destroyer being named HMS is kind of strange. Ah, well, whatever. Whatever, it's to honor the viewers and not to be historically correct. We are doing this in the bigger ships, or to be in the RPG. We do this with the bigger ships, not with the destroyers. You are very welcome. Thanks for commenting, for participating. So yes, war with Russia is still looming. Those are done in 4 months. I think we can basically start the next Friedrich der Große rebuilt. 4 million deficit, half the tonnage. Oh yeah, he's complaining again. Good. Port Arthur is commissioned, and now finally radar assisted gunnery. That means I can now shoot something at night. Not with the highest accuracy yet, but it's no longer rushing in and then finding a battleship at 1,000 or 2,000 yards distance. Okay, what was that here? Those two. Mothball them. Okay, when are they done? 2 turns. I think we can afford to go into the rebuilding of the Friedrich Wilhelm II right away. Well, then of course you're gonna get a ship as well. Maybe you guys are even lucky and they ram each other. That would be funny somewhat, wouldn't it? One-eyed Woodlake is also now a ship. And thanks for commenting and participating as well, One-eyed Woodlake. Again, complaining just because I don't have enough ships ready. Damn it. Yeah, we buy that. Money is getting slow though. Problems is delaying that. By the way, do we develop a new plane? Yes, we do. Good. 8 millions left, but I think the first ones are being finished. Yeah, I could probably have them suicide in somewhere, and I use destroyers as like expendable units, but still. Okay, we can sell some technology to the Americans, and new dive bomber is ready. Still no surplus, but so far I think we are fine again. Yep, and that is now a decently modernized ship. One more. Yeah, we are hushing it up. We are not rushing for war this time. We had our fine share of wars so far. And I think I like the fact of the naval treaty, as I've now said like the 5th time. So we want, at a scout plane, we want good range and reliability, but we can't see that. Obviously, the ship isn't built yet. Bomb load, I don't care about. It's supposed to be a scout. So toughness would probably also be nice, but it's pretty close. Maneuverability wouldn't hurt, but it's not decisive. Cruise speed, that is something which is probably more important, as it means the ships go out faster and thus spot faster. So I'd be tempted to go between those two. This one definitely has the range is too small. The only question is, do I take more toughness, higher cruise speed at the price of just 7 miles? Well, that seems like a good deal. It's even faster. It's far less maneuverable though. But I'm not even sure. Yeah, let's just take that. I'm not even sure whether it works just fine, because when I look at this here, I can't select the ships, so I can only select the carriers, not the ships that carry float planes, which are a couple, I think. They aren't even listed, and I've never seen them launch any, so I'm not sure whether that's working as intended. We have a surplus again, so let's rebuild the next one. Electro-optical new dive bomber, and it's better in basically every way. Good. Let's order the next plane, by the way. Torpedo bomber, yeah. We need a good torpedo bomber. Torpedo bomber. We want range and probably reliability. Another option would be toughness. Toughness obviously means it can go into heavy AA fire and still survive long enough to drop its load, whereas reliability would, I guess, help flying more sorties. So that is like to choose what. I guess I'm going for reliability. Or do I want to go for the strike? So far I don't really suffer that many losses, so let's go for reliability, yes. Okay, so the French want to buy some technology. Yeah, whatever, we're gonna sell it. Enables electro-optical director on ships. Oh, new directors. I can't even remember I had electro-optical directors in the past. Let's check that. Oh yeah. So I guess new rebuilding of everything. The only question is, yeah, there's one left. I hate that, to make it a separate design. How much time does it take to rebuild that one in this way? 4 months, and it costs 7 million just for that one puny fire control. God damn it. I guess we'll give it a separate design. Okay, so that was 5-inch, and we're going up to something, I guess. Advanced electro-optical director, yes. And those are going up to 4. What is it, 30? Okay, so 22. Isn't that more than they have? Why did they have only 20? Probably some weight saving again, some mysterious weight saving. I have no idea where. Maybe because I redesigned the turrets. No, I can't. It's just they should just exchange the barrels. So another mystery to me, but I take it. More AA for free is nice. Electro-optical director. Yep, that's fine. Can I? No, it's already at 3. Oh yeah, that's not dual purpose. That's the reason. Okay, now it's the same size. Dual purpose. I think. Yeah, we'll do it like this. Yeah. Okay. Oh damn it! 8 million deficit now. First, it's found that easily surpassing her design speed. That's a very nice result. That means the ships are faster than designed. 1 knot. So my new heavy cruisers are coming online, which means that I can now rebuild a lot more because I have more capacity. Let's mothball them, which means that I probably have to put more others into service as there are too many. Oh, we have 2 of them in active fleet currently. Okay, let's now they have been modernized recently. Let's focus on older ships for now before I take them in for the new fire controls. Which is the one that most urgently needs it? Probably that one. Could also redesign the carriers here, but I don't think that's that urgent. The planes are decisive. The rest of the ship I don't care that much about. So 16-inch, better 16-inch guns, electro-optical directors. Let's go up to 5-inch dual-purpose double mounts, and those are 4-inch dual-purpose mounts. Okay, now we are down a lot in weight. That is a battle cruiser. We will have to reduce. Yeah, they have 8 planes on board. Now that's a lot. Could reduce the number of planes to 4. Yep, that actually saves enough money already. Perfect. Do I want the AA to be as big as possible? Yeah, I do. So let's go down with the secondary guns by 1 slot and give them, what is it, 40? Yeah. 8 tons underweight. Okay, let's do it this way. 8 tons overweight. The light is a little lighter than the heavy. So if you play around, you should be able to reach this point, which now seems like the best I can do. Yeah, it has a catapult because it has float planes. So it's one of the few big ships I have designed having a catapult. And I can redesign the carriers to have catapults now. That is a good point. I really need to do that as well. I'm a big gun type guy though, Admiral. I don't believe in the airplane. I rather have a few more battleships, just because I like battleships. Who doesn't? Yeah, craft carriers just aren't as majestic, and I still love that name, Arnulf der Böse, Arnulf the Evil One. What was it? Heinrich der Zweite. Okay, we still have more than enough money, so I'll rebuild this one as well. And do they finish a few more? Yes, they do. So we can start that one as well. Okay, good. And the Kaiser is unhappy because too many ships are in mothballed. That should solve it. Still not solving it. I need more of the rebuild ships ready because they don't count. Okay, and the last carrier cruisers, I guess, are getting finished. They want to buy Wait, the French didn't have 2,000 tons? No, I'm not gonna sell those. Wait, the Alte Dessauer? What was it? Ah, it's a carrier, okay. I didn't misread that. Good, he's working up. Those are working up. No, I want you to be mothballed. You two as well if I can. You are going reserve fleet. Let's see whether I can continue this. Oh, I have more money. Oh yeah, let's actually do a carrier now. Don't just solely focus on the big guns. Okay, if I am... Question is, how much weight does a double mounting have? It has a significant higher weight. Okay, so we're sticking at single mounts. Flight installation, we have 300 tons suddenly appearing out of nowhere, so let's put on some catapults. Yep, that's fine. And we can probably increase the number of airplanes and go up in the AA department. Yep, 90, is that another plane? Nope. So we increased AA, made it better, gave it catapults and one more plane. Not the most impressive design, but I guess okay. I could probably give it, yeah, I could give it some more dual purpose secondary guns for the remaining weights. Doesn't hurt to have some more AA. Can that be another one? Yes, it can. Good. Okay, that looks fine. That looks fine to me. I have no idea whether that changes anything. It doesn't change the price. It's probably not implemented yet, like the missile launchers aren't implemented yet. I don't see any difference at all in price in anything if I change something here at deck park or deck edge lift. Okay, accept. And we are modernizing the other one as well. I could have changed the engines and probably gotten a lot of weight out of it, but it would have cost a lot, and I don't think it's completely worth it for another like 10 planes or something. So I should have tried though. Never mind. Okay, in more AA effectiveness, that's good. Budget surplus, a decent one, so let's redesign the next one right away. It's my 14-inch ones. Well, they should be pretty fast in redesign, I think, because I don't change the main ammo. Let's first electro-optical. You go down here to 0, and I want medium ones, and now I need to play with the weight. To give it a more effective AA. 20 is still left. Yep, that looks okay, and it only takes 4 months. Perfect. Yeah, like here it's activated because I activated in the last one, and it doesn't change anything. So I think that those 2 buttons are useless as of now. Okay, we are going to rebuild those 2. And Wilhelm II, my most bomb chip of all. It's like the historic Wilhelm II. He loves to go in deep and take torpedoes from every side and being almost sunk, but he survives every time. I think that guy is one of my most damaged chips throughout the battles. So yeah, let's send the Kaiser into refit as well. We could. The funny thing is, we could give it bigger turrets, like 20-inch one gun turrets, which would be pretty useless. And I don't like the double 18-inch would be fun, but I can only afford 6 guns then, and I think 6 guns are too low in the amount of fire I can put out. I can shoot. Wait, he already had dual-purpose secondary, dual-purpose 5-inch. Let me check that. Yeah, he had. Okay. Is there anything that didn't? Oh, so I guess they were already rebuilt with the new technology, so all I need to do is now give it electro-optical director. That should be rather cheap. Well, it's still expensive, but it should be rather fast. Okay. And another one. And you know what, let's start that one as well. The tensions with Russia are way down, so I should be able to afford it, but I bet now there are too many mothballed. Yes, there are. Okay, let's put those into reserve. What does it say? Still too many mothballed. Okay, now it works. Better invasion capacity. I wonder how big it is by now. I had those messages so often by now. Okay, so from Tripoli I can invade Mars Ekibir. That's quite the distance. And the French should be easily able to invade like Eastern Prussia from France. And it becomes critical here as well. Is Madagascar in range? Yes, it actually is. I could invade Madagascar in the next war. So I need to be careful. Next war will mean a lot of additional invasions. British possession of Burma. Okay, good. Not on mine. I think that I don't have invasions is because I put cruisers everywhere with colonial detachments. Enables forward ASW mortar, but I think that's like a change that I can't put into the design. Yeah, no, it is. Okay, so I can rebuild all my corvettes and everything now as well. That was our active fleet. Yep, that's fine. 40. Those should be the electro. No, it's still advanced. Only right. That was the design I did where after I finished it, I got that technology. Okay, so let's do the redesign right away. Put those again into the dockyard for redesign, and let me guess. Yes, too many mothballed. So let's put those into reserve fleet, and I hope that he is happy now. It's still not happy. Okay. Okay, now it works. Türkenluis and the Alte Dessauer are finished, and increases radar detection chance. Nice. And the new float plane is ready, so let's put those two into reserve fleet, I guess. Because none of the big ships is ready yet. I have no idea how big the impact of the director is. I mean, you see that you hit the enemies much more often when you over the time. Like initially when you have pre-dreadnoughts, they fight each other and occasionally there's a hit and then the shells don't do damage. So sinking a lot of enemy ships initially in the beginning with pre-dreadnoughts usually means you close in and just shoot them point blank range, or you hit them more often, or you torpedo them. But long range fire is mostly ineffective, but I think now going at 20, 30 kilometers, you could probably delete enemy fleets fairly easy. I mean, I don't have any data, and I don't think the manual says anything about the likelihood of hitting, but you can feel it. How effective it is, I can't say anything. Okay, more in Burma. Next battleships finished. That's good. More in the Balkans. Yeah, whatever. Prestige. No, I'm not gonna spend prestige. Do I want to raise the tensions for more budget? Yeah, whatever. And it wasn't even with those two, okay. But that means in theory I might end up at war with a lot of them. That wouldn't be ideal. Okay, reserve fleet. Those are 41. They only have advanced directors, so we are taking those into build now, into rebuilding them. And they still have the old guns. Did I even check it with those guys? No, they had 15-inch, okay. So I don't think we had more modern 15-inch guns. Now it's 6 turns, is that correct? Might be, okay. Yeah, I think that's fine. Advanced director, no, electro-optical and better guns. Yep. I think I just rebuilt it. Did I probably forgot to change the guns? I don't know, I can't remember. Well, we're putting them back into the dockyard. I guess we're just making sure the socialists don't become too powerful by creating enough jobs. Something like that. We are going to justify our waste of money this way. 2-phase search, okay. Nope. New torpedo bomber planes, yeah, much faster. Now it's medium range, no longer heavy. So it's from 250, it now goes up to 387. That's a lot. Okay, so that will be the longest range. It's the same speed, the same cruise speed, by far the longest light range. Firepower is a little lower, maneuverability, yeah, basically toughness is a little lower, but it's far higher. This would be the second highest toughness, but it's 100 miles less in long range and 70 miles less. Yeah, we take the longer range, whatever. We do it like the Japanese. I want to be able to strike as far as possible. Okay, so they are done. What else is going on? Those are the modernizations going through here. I think we're fine. Friedrich Wilhelm der Vierte has finished, and Wilhelm III, Friedrich Wilhelm der Dritte, and the second one, and the first one, der Soldatenkönig. Okay, and der große Kurfürst, Arnulf der Böse once again. Yeah, we just had him in the dockyard, never mind. Okay, you are all going into reserve fleet. And you are all going into mothballed. And we can start rebuilding destroyers. So it's the G8. Let's take them in. Forward ASW. Now the weight has gone up. Can we do something about that? Or do we just, I think we just accept 5 tons overweight. Could change something with the AA as well, but I don't think the AA, and it's not dual purpose. I really need a new ship. I mean, that means without dual purpose, I could probably take away 1 turret, but that means it would be weakened in gun battles with other destroyers, so I'm just accepting the risk that they might be bombed. As said, they are expendable to some degree, so let's just fuck it. I need more ASW, I always need it, but... Oh, and fire control, okay. Yeah, whatever, then it's overweight, I don't care. That means in bad weather it loses speed, it might capsize in worst case, and it might be slower than designed. But in general, I can also put more stuff on it, and I'm gonna do it like the Japanese. They had some ships capsizing because they designed them too heavy. Okay, we still have money. Yeah, let's go through all our light ships. And while we're at it, why not give it those here? Oh, he can't have forward. Okay, then he won't get it. Guess it has a minimum size or something like that. Design, well, they can have forward. Little overweight, only 3 4-inch guns. That's not a strong design anymore. Oh well, but it still has a lot of torpedoes, so in case if they are used for transport, for escort, they might actually do some damage to an attacker. with their torpedoes at least. Okay, so that is the V1 class. That's the new ones. Let's go for the corvettes here then. They can have forward mounted launchers, perfect. All modernizing. Those are those here. No, it's 2 classes. Okay. Forward, dual purpose. Yeah, looks okay. I don't really need modern fire control. I mean, I could put it on, but I don't think their guns do any damage at all. I heard some. I mean, you might actually build like a gunboat type corvette that could probably hold its own against the destroyer rate. But I also have airplanes, land-based air power, so. I don't know, how much does it cost? Yeah, look at how much the price goes up. 148 to 20. Yeah, I'm not gonna spend that money. Definitely not. Okay, and that's the Borkenwalde. You are getting those forward mounted things as well, and you don't even have dual purpose, so let's give you that as well. Yeah, 5. Okay, so we've taken care of that. Those, yeah, and those we could also do while we're at it. Yeah, it's becoming too heavy through the, and it only had 2K guns. I forgot about that. Okay, that's unfortunate. Okay, we need to reduce the, no, it's actually not having full range. That's a little, that's not ideal actually. They are the fighting ships that go with the fleet, so let's leave them at that. I want those to be efficient in fighting. I can't have them overweight. Okay. So those 3 are being finished soon. They have new guns. Let's check on all of those. They have the 1+1 quality. They do. Those are these here. Do they have them? They do as well. Yeah, that's it. Now those have not been finished with the most modern fire control, so we give it to them as well. And oh yeah, they have better they can have better guns as well. Okay, so it's a lot of additional money again, but hopefully worth it. And suddenly from 17 it's down to 2 million. But there's still money left, so we can look into those guys here. 1,000 additional weight. That's nice. So let's give it forward. Probably increase just the caliber of the anti-air guns, absolutely. We can give those 4-inch as well and dual mountings. Then we can make those 3-inch ones, dual mountings, dual purpose. Now the AA is getting somewhere. 4 of them, yes. What is it, 20? Okay. Give it another fire control, why not? 300 left. As said before, I think I read that over 100 the performance suffers. Could give it 99 instead of 98. I think 98 looks better, but that's just like for aesthetics, so I'd say yeah, cannot have more than 2. Let's just do it this way. Could probably also give it 1 additional port aft. Well, how about this? If I give you 2 more guns, no, won't work. Look ugly at least. Top space, fire, okay. So delete turret. Is it still? Fire control, too many secondaries. Fire rate of fire is reduced. Yeah, 10% is okay, I guess. Let's make this the new design. I don't think changing the engine is necessary. It's fast enough, 30 knots. and doesn't justify the additional price. One left, so let's put that one into rebuild as well. And those two can be mothballed now, I think. 1 million, yeah, I think we can. How long does it take? 4 turns, yeah, whatever. I think we can afford to rebuild all of them at once. Okay. 17-inch. I don't really need 17-inch, but we're going to take it anyways. You never know. Suggest we could arm some rebels. That's the old question. Do I want to face a war with the British? I think I'm actually going to do this. I'm a little bit afraid of it because, I mean, it's the British Navy, as I said before. But in the end, it would be quite the challenging thing. We're giving more money to the company that develops foreign air race, but the Russians win, unfortunately. AP bombs now on aircraft and 120 airplanes in our naval bases, on our air bases, and now the tensions with the British are the highest overall. So I think we also need to invest into the air bases to increase their size in preparation for a war with Britain. And that war, if it comes, is going to be quite the nightmare, as the British are everywhere and can thus threaten my colonial possessions everywhere. There's not much I can do at all. Like, I could probably build up everything, but that just costs equally as much. But is there any base that can't be invaded by the British? Yes, there are a few, but really only a few. Like those two can, this cannot right now. Here, 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 even here. Yeah, it's like if I'm facing war, there's hardly any naval region where I'm safe. But I think Europe will be the main area, and I will have to crush their fleet there, and then I can spread mine out. So I will focus on Europe. Yeah, we don't want a war right away. We are willing to accept it in game terms, but I'm not aiming for it and making the game provoke it, because that would change the situation. But we see we are closing in on war anyways. Now, I don't want, as I said before, I just repeat it here, I don't want the naval treaty to end prematurely by my own choice. Now, it has lasted for 40 months now, which is quite nice. The Japanese as well, god damn it. Rebels okay, so Burma is liberated. At least my support has then weakened the British a little bit. And the Kaiser has made a foreign policy gaffe. Okay. That should give us this tension, so 1 away from war. I could, like, French, Russians. Yeah, I don't think activate the fleet. Yeah, I could, but it's so expensive. France, Russia. So I could sacrifice one prestige. Let's actually do that. I'm at 101, so I can afford a little bit of hit on me. Quintuple torpedo mounts. Okay. Now that's interesting. I can't remember I ever developed those before. I'm not sure. Center line up to 7,000 tons. That's huge as well. Okay. Now, if I activate, okay, I'm now in 9 million in the 9 million surplus now. That's not bad actually. But activating the fleet will cost far more than 9 million. That's kind of a problem with that. So let's look for the next plane maybe. That torpedo bomber is obsolete. That fighter is from 1939 and we've got 42, so I'll need a new one about that. Floatplane scout is obsolete. Poor reliability, that's not good. Yeah, let's develop a new fighter. Fighter wants speed and firepower. 12 million surplus. Let's increase the dockyards one more, not that it really would be needed. Coastal fortification. I could build submarines. Yeah, let's actually build. Oh, yeah, I can't. Okay, so I could rebuild them here with the better fire control, I think. Yes, that seems like a good choice. Weight is okay. Do I really need 4? I think 3 are more than enough. Okay. 78 surplus. What if I increase the amount of ammo? The time goes up insanely much because they have to redesign the magazines and everything. Yamato depends on which calculation. There's short tons, long tons. Then some calculations calculated the ship being fully loaded, fully armor, including fuel, fresh water, everything. Others took the pure, simple hull. Depending on the tonnage, I think it should be between, like, what was it, 68,000 to 72,000, something, depending on the calculation, the weight, I think. Might be off by 1 or 2,000, but that's about it. Maybe 67 or even 66, but definitely not lower, the Yamato weight. Okay, I think that's it. 3 months, that's not that expensive. Let's do that one. All 10 of them, yes. And we could probably rebuild them too, because they are a pretty decent design as well. It's good 6-inch guns, that's fine. We can give it a little more AA, not much. Okay, yeah, let's do that as well. 13. Rebuild. Okay, good. When those are done, I will probably, and there's still no war, I will probably consider doing a new heavy cruiser construction run with a modernized, with a little updated design. Russians want to decrease. Potential change. Okay, so let's do that. Reduce tensions. Why not? 11 million surplus. Yes, those guys were finished. Okay. Can we look at the design? Yes, here it is. Okay, if you do open design, you get the old design, and then you can change a few things if it isn't too much. Like, I think the weight of the anti-air went down. I can't remember whether I got to the maximum, but I think I designed it in a way that it should be the biggest possible. And I still have 99 left. Okay, even now it's still working. 8 of them. Probably works. Perfect. Looks like a good design. 24 months in building. Yeah, it's a new one. But apart from that, I think it's okay. Cross-deck fire is if you have like the early, like Kaiser and König class in the high seas fleet, where they had a turret here and a turret here. And they were designed so that turret on the right side, on the starboard side, could fire over to the port side, over the middle. And to have that ability, obviously there has to be nothing in between. and the turret has to be designed so it can rotate around and all of that. So in this regard, it's a technology that is important right in the beginning of the game, when you have your first dreadnoughts but can't build enough centerline turrets yet. Here I can't because I have centerline turrets. It only works for wing turrets. Okay, I think that design is okay. So what was the name? That is the other question. Which name are we going to give him? So Anhalt-Dessau we had. Did we have Braunschweig? Ferdinand von Braunschweig-Wolfenbüttel? Yes, here he is. Kleist von Neunhof? Yes, that was another one. Do we have Nikolaus Graf Palfy von Erdöd? I think that sounds somewhat familiar. I might have a carrier named after him. But I don't think Peter Melander Graf von Holzappel has been mentioned before, so we are going to name it after him. Peter Melander Graf von Holzappel. Okay. So that's going to be this cruiser design. And now it's far cheaper because it's only a 10% change from the Derflinger. Okay. That design is being finished. Sail regatta, yeah, let's reduce tensions, why not? Okay, build the design and take that one. So I wanted to check if they have Palfy von Erdöd. Yeah, there he is. Do I have Holzappel as well? No, I don't. Okay. I need to think about how to name the other ones now, though. Do I have a Mackensen? I mean, he's First World War, but I think August von Mackensen was is a general that deserves to be having a ship named after him. Let's make his full name Anton. What was that? Anton Ludwig Friedrich August Mackensen. Okay. We'll probably build a couple more, but I'm undecided as of yet whether I should do it right now or not. Okay. 20-inch. What is my naval guns? Yeah, they are -1. That's not interesting. I might be building some kind of Yamato soon. I'll have to see. Okay. So my colonial cruisers, the colony class, that's probably the best name, is modernized. Torpedo bomber is ready. Good. Let's put those guys into mothballed. Then I'll have to look for more names. I obviously have a list that I prepared before streaming. I mean, I'm a military historian, so I might know a few names that other people don't, but I won't know immediately like 50 names that I can pull out of my arse without having to think. Like Mackensen, for instance, I just created ad hoc to have something now, but I think I actually ran out of names mostly. I need to check. There have been some that have been sunk. Ludwig der Deutsche, for instance, he definitely needs to be in von der Tann, and then I might take great battles. I may take great battles that great military victories or something to name ships after. That is also a good historic tradition. But yeah, Ludwig der Deutsche definitely needs a new battleship. especially him. But Bismarck, and those two, oh yeah, those two are another two names I need. They need names as well. Hindenburg. Do I have a Hindenburg? Ah, the Moltke class. Yeah, Moltke doesn't have anyone named after him as well. Moltke the Elder. Yeah, so I'll have to look up for new names for the new ships, especially if I start to construct battleships soon when the naval treaty is ended by a war. But I guess that seems like a good cue to end this episode, so I have time to prepare more names. So let's wrap it up here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did so, please consider following and subscribing. You can find me on Twitch, and as you've seen, I had a conversation with those people watching, so if you want to participate as well, please follow me on Twitch and join the conversation there. I hope you had a good time, I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time.